Welcome to Unapologetically Sensitive, where you can learn, relate, laugh, and maybe even live a bolder, brighter life. I'm your host, Patricia Young, licensed clinical social worker. This is a weekly podcast where we explore the strengths we have because of our sensitivity and some of the challenges it poses as well. The information in this podcast is not a substitute for help from a licensed mental health professional. Hey there. This is bonus episode 37, and I've been reflecting recently. Well, I reflect all the time. Been reflecting about some of the things that I continue to say in the podcast episodes, and I may have already explained why I do this, and I really feel sensitive, especially to the therapists that are listening. So chances are if I've offended you, you're probably not listening anymore, so maybe I'm preaching to the choir twice. I talk a lot about comparing and therapists being vulnerable and having relationships with their clients. I want to share a little bit about why it's so important to me. I'm not going to stop doing it, but I realized I may not have shared why it's so important to me. I had a therapist. My experience with therapy, I've had some really good experiences. And even though I'm saying that therapists may not have done this, I got a lot of other things. So I'm not trying to bash therapists, and I think I come across that way sometimes. It's not my intention. I'm working through my stuff. I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm unapologetically imperfect. What gets triggered for me and why I keep justifying it, and I think that's the key word, is justifying, is I have a lot of negative chatter that's ongoing about why I should not be self-disclosing, why I should not be saying what I'm saying on this podcast, why I think therapists, some therapists, not all, are not okay with the work that I'm doing. And I'm constantly battling those voices and gremlins in my head. And maybe if I publicly call it out, it will change. I don't know. I still feel very passionate about why I think self-disclosure and relationships and therapy are so important, and being responsive to our clients. If they cry, and I get teary, I'm okay with that as long as my clients don't need to take care of me. I know I keep talking about it. And the more I'm doing this podcast, I'm also seeing the benefits of the relationships that we can have in therapy. And if we can have these relationships with other people, that's great too. But the part that I want to call out is I feel like I'm constantly needing to justify why I do what I do instead of just saying what I believe. And I may come off rubbing people the wrong way, and I may be unintentionally offensive, and that may come out especially to the therapists that are listening. And really, the truth is, chances are, if you're a therapist and you're listening to this podcast, you're probably on board with what I'm doing. You would have tuned it out a long time ago. So I'm kind of talking to the therapists that are in my head and not listening to the podcast. So I just wanted to be a little transparent with y'all about that. I felt pretty vulnerable releasing the previous bonus episode. I wanted to ask a couple of my therapist friends to listen to it and tell me if it was okay. I just have to trust that what I'm demonstrating is strength and courage and vulnerability. And that's really what my goal is for doing this. So that is the end of my rant, vulnerability, insecurity, and my rants about therapy. Just want to let you know, you can follow me over on Instagram at Unapologetically Sensitive. If you're thinking about therapy, I provide online therapy in California. If you're curious about it, we can jump on an online call on a secure platform. I find my clients really love it. And as an HSP, you don't have to deal with traffic and going to somebody's office and getting out of your pajama pants. Or you can do it while you're at the office. You can have your pet on your lap. You can have a nice cup of coffee with you. I offer a free 20-minute consultation. If you're interested, hop on over to Patricia Young, LCSW.com. You can get all the information and set up a free online consult with me. We have this amazing Facebook group called Unapologetically Sensitive. You guys, you are so incredibly talented. I'm just in awe of the sharing and the creativity and the talent that we have in the group. So if you're interested, there are just a couple questions you need to fill out if you want to join the group. If you find benefit from this podcast, please tell people about it. Please share it with other people. That's the best way to get people to know. If you want to rate and review, that also helps. But if you just share the podcast with other people, that would be great. All right. Remember, sensitivity is nothing to apologize for. It's our superpower. Have a blessed day.